Czechoslovakia is key, we feel, to reaching the world. When you go back in history and you think about the Hussites and Jan Hus and the 30-year wars and the great reforms all coming out of Czechoslovakia, even to considering that Czechoslovakia is the birthplace of modern missions, where the Moravian brothers sent out missionaries to the West Indies and actually sold themselves into slavery. We believe this nation has a heritage of reaching out to the rest of the world with the gospel. In fact, a historian here in the city believes that the United States would not be Christian if it wasn't for the reforms that took place in Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia has become very materialistic in the sense that nice cars and microwave ovens and nice coffee makers and VCRs and TVs have become a focus in the life of people. Clothes, nice clothes, to look Western, to be able to travel abroad, have all of a sudden kind of clouded out the interest for the gospel. Unlike Russia and other places where economically they're still very, very poor, Czechoslovakia is a little bit more affluent, if you would say, a little bit more materialistic. As a result of that, we have found it increasingly more difficult to share the gospel. The interest just isn't there. So a lot of people, when you try to witness to them here in the streets, they say, I don't want religion. I don't want those set of rules. And they actually shy away from the gospel because they hear Christ, they hear Christian, they hear these little key words that are hot buttons for them. They turn their eyes away from the truth out of fear of the past. Our hope and our goal and our idea is to be able to find a way that we can communicate the truth in a way that they can see that it isn't a set of rules. It isn't something that is going to say it's this or that, it's this religion or that religion, but that we can communicate to them it's a relationship with Jesus Christ. Since the fall of communism, there was a complete and total void, vacuum, nothing. The country had nothing to give it direction, no mind molders at all. It left such opportunities for the West, particularly the United States, to pour in its influences. You have such a beautiful nation where some of the most beautiful music was created. Smetana, Mozart, Bach, all of them had created pieces of music here. Yet when you go into the stores and into the palaces, into the castles and the restaurant, what you're hearing is you're hearing Led Zeppelin and all these other bands that come from the United States. The pop music is just flooding the minds of the people. The tunes are getting caught in their minds, and that's all you're hearing. Hollywood has just flooded this nation. You see all kinds of movies being translated into English, or into Czech from English. Movies that in the States most Christians would never even allow in their home. Also, you find a lot of the Czechs who are honest really resent seeing people driving around in new BMWs and new Mercedes, and they say, the only way that person could have that car is because they're crooked, they're a little shady, or either that or they manage a restaurant. And even then they say that 70% of all restaurants overbill their customers. So we're seeing a lot of people resenting the fact that others have things. Although a lot of the people do have it honestly, there is a lot of crime, a lot of not so kosher things going on. When communism fell, the budget to run a lot of the social programs failed. And so a lot of the mental hospitals just emptied their wards onto the streets. Also, people who were handicapped, or physically handicapped, were illegal under communism. So you see a lot of those people were put into mental hospitals and now are dumped into the streets. It gives you a huge proportion of people that are actually homeless. Also in the city, you have 20,000 prostitutes, most of them high school girls. They say that 1 out of every 4 high school girls has worked as a prostitute at least once in a school year, mostly because they want to earn enough money to pay for the clothing. Prague is considered by many experts to be the center of occultic activity in Europe. Geographically speaking, it is the most central major city in all of Europe. With that, there is a lot of spiritual influences over the city that affect daily life here. The spirit of division is a major one. Spirit of confusion. We have found even in our own ministry team that one of the first things we have to deal with before we're able to be effective in ministry is to get through the cloudiness of the confusion that we have amongst ourselves, the miscommunications, the mistrust, the suspicion. These are all things that are very, very strong influences on the city. We've had to take time out and pull back from ministry and work on building unity as a team so that we can recognize the spirits and also overcome them through the Spirit of Christ, which is a spirit of hope, a spirit of peace, a spirit of unity, and be able to go on and minister in these spirits. We have seen, as the rest of the world has seen, the spirit of disunity tear this nation apart. The spirit of confusion, where when you're hearing what's going on with the politics, no one seems to know what's going on. The people have a sense of hopelessness. Czechoslovakia has had the best reforms of all of the former Soviet bloc. Yet, in a recent poll taken, Czechoslovakia was the most pessimistic nation in the world. Yet, even more so than Russia and Albania and even Yugoslavia, they felt they had more hope than Czechoslovakia does. And so it's the spirit of hopelessness that is working in the city. And our goal through the Lordship of Jesus Christ is to bring in a spirit of hope, a spirit of unity, and a spirit of love to transcend all these demonic spirits. We want to see the Spirit of Christ move in this city. And we are seeing it. And with your prayers and with the perseverance of the saints, we will see these spirits broken and Christ established in this nation.